Hi there, and welcome to day 12 of our Fascia Flow Reset. Today's focus will be on core support without tension. What does that mean? It means that we're going to be focusing on subtle movements while we are strengthening and working our core. I think automatically we think about core work as being really intense, right? This is more of a subtle practice. It's a very interesting way to look at your body and your breath and your core. So let's get right into it. I'm going to move in this direction, and I ask that you usually have all of your props, so they're nice and handy for you. But strap is what we're going to start with first. So if you will, take your strap to about the mid to low back there, okay? We're going to crisscross that strap in front of you, just like that, okay? And then take it into opposite hand, okay? So knees are bent. If that's too much on the low back, then you can keep your legs straight, okay? So wherever you want to be here with the leg variation, make sure your spine is nice and tall. With a nice big deep breath in, pull the strap just a little bit tighter. You're still really long through the spine, long through the front body, and then keep that engagement as you release the exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep moving with your breath or breathing. We're not moving just yet. Paying attention, being aware with your breath. You can close your eyes and notice that expansive breath moving through the front body and the back body. Notice what you can soften. Notice what you can release. Two more breaths here. And you can just lower the strap. And take the strap and just place it to the side. Maybe extend your legs, bounce out your knees. And maybe just making sure that you pay attention to that expansive breath a little bit more, that you've had some feedback from this. So throughout this practice, it's maybe our intention is just to focus and stay connected to our breathing. I think that's a pretty good intention to carry through your yoga practice. All right, with that, we're going to keep the knees bent here. Again, any restrictions on the back, if you need your legs extended, please take it. So what we're going to do here is those pelvic tilts, those axial tilts that we did a few classes ago, but we were in a supine reclined position. So that means that we had a lot more support there, right? This is going to be a little different, and it's almost going to be non-visible to see these movements, okay? It's very, very subtle and slow, but you're doing the work, okay? So start maybe with your hands to the side, fingertips slightly touching the earth, or you can rest your hands on top of the legs. And taking a nice big deep breath in, find that you can breathe deeply, as almost as if that strap was still wrapped around your center. Keep that muscle engagement as you release the exhale, and we'll start with those subtle pelvic tilts. So it's that cat-cow element in the low back, okay? Remember your bowl of water. So you're tipping forward to pour the water out. You're tipping back to keep the water in. Very subtle. And it's going to be a very, very subtle movement in the upper body, if any, okay? So we really want to focus on that. And you can activate your core slightly. Don't over effort here. That's what we're not going to do in this class. All right, we're going to add a little bit to this, okay? So we're going to lift the knee. So that's with the inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to take the foot back to the mat, okay? So very slow, very mindful, very intentional movements. Okay. So as the knee lifts, you inhale and then exhale, lower. So we're still doing those pelvic tilts along with this movement. Okay. So you can start with a few pelvic tilts, get comfortable with that again. And then as you inhale, invite your knee in, right knee in, exhale, lower. So tilting forward, inhale, lift, exhale, lower, inhale, lift, exhale, lower. We're alternating. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower, inhale, lift. Keep going. I know you guys are feeling this. Subtle, but strong, right? Couple more here. You're doing great. Breathe into it. And the thing that I found when I was sequencing this class and putting it together is there's so much that you recruit from your hips when you're taking these subtle movements into the core. And you'll notice that along the way with a lot of these exercises that we're doing tonight. So, all right, let's find a nice extended legged variation, or you can even just kind of windshield wiper your legs. Notice what information you got there. I'm hoping that you have a little bit of feedback from the core, from the hips, and how everything kind of worked in unison together with that breath. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to start by showing you this way, and then I might turn back to that side view again to have you get a better idea of what we're doing. So heel slides with the opposite arm to lift, okay? I want you to find a lot of length here, so don't feel like you're collapsing here. I want you to have that nice tall spine, okay? So I'm gonna, and this works well if you're on hardwood, maybe you grab a blanket or a towel or something like that to kind of help along those heel slides. I luckily have a yoga blanket or rug, I guess it's called. It's one of those jade rugs. I love it. It's highly recommend having one. All right. So with that, we're going to start with the right leg first. Okay. And as we heel slide, our left arm comes up, big deep breath in. Okay. And then alternate sides, right arm comes up, heel slide left out. Inhale. And exhale now. Okay. All right. Moving with that breath control. I'm going to move to the side. And I want you to notice that you can let the support travel diagonally through the body. Okay. So keep moving. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Let the support travel diagonally through the body. Let's do 3 more. All right. Might feel good to take a bound angle here. Just kind of rest into this, stretch it out. Finding the subtleties of that movement. It's challenging, isn't it? When we think subtle, we think easy, but that's not always the case. All right. This next one, we're going to be lying on our side body. So let's start on the right side. And we're going to first slide that right arm out long into extension. And then just kind of rest your head on that arm. Bring your left hand to the hip. And then I just want you to kind of feel this before we find where we might need support, where we can engage. What we're going to do is we're going to lift this right rib off of the mat, okay? So you can create just maybe an inch, half an inch, whatever that looks like to you off of the mat, okay? So on the inhale, think of that C shape kind of that you're going to make there, okay? Some of you might want to support your head in your hand, and that's perfectly fine. I just don't want you to cause tension on the elbow as you press into the earth. This kind of allows a little bit more freedom in that elbow and more attention to lift that right side ribs, okay? So breathing in. So it's kind of like a baby crunch, if you will, right? We'll do 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then just rest. You can release that left arm. Breathe. And with ease, we'll switch sides. And maybe you take a couple of breaths in that upright position. Notice a difference. All right, same thing, other side. Trying to make sure my mic doesn't get snuffed. A couple of the videos I noticed that it kind of got snuffed out. So if you do notice that, please tell me. All right. Knees are bent. Right hand to hip. And then let's rest your head on that arm. Again, you can do this. I think I'm going to do this just for the simple fact that I don't want to crush the mic. So it might be a good opportunity to show you here. Okay, if you didn't take it on the first side. And not so much pressing into the elbow, but think about lifting from the rib cage. Okay, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. So you are squeezing the abdominals subtly, right? Lifting. Belly button pulls in. The breath is the most important guide here, so think about that. You're really trusting your breath to lead you through these movements. If you feel like you can't breathe or you're trying to catch your breath, most likely you're needing to change something, right? A couple more here. And support comes from length, not effort. So think about that left side body lengthening as you lift. A couple more breaths here. All right, come to that relaxed position. Just check in. Still gotta find the perfect place for this mic so you can hear me. Because when it's at the right spot, I've played back those videos. I'm like, wow, that's nice, crystal clear sound. And then when I snuff it out, it's terrible. So it's a learning curve, right? This whole technology thing. I'm having a blast with it. All right, we're gonna come up to seated. Take a moment here just to check in. Maybe finding a breath or two with deep, full consciousness. Maybe even sighing it out. Maybe this is the first time you've moved your body today and it feels really good. All right. Well, let's come to a tabletop position. So we're all familiar with our bird dog or spinal balance, whatever you'd like to call it. This is going to be a new approach to this. I know we look for a lot of effort when we have that spinal balance. Think about it. A lot of our limbs require a lot of effort, right? Even our supported arm and leg. So with that, I want you to focus more on, we're going to take the right leg back first, okay? And it's going to be a hover, not a lift. So just a slight hover, maybe an inch, okay? My left hand is going to come forward, but I'm going to tent the hand just like I did before, so my fingertips are lightly touching the earth. Just a hover, okay? Breathe. Notice your breath. Notice how you're breathing here. Notice where you might be collapsing. Could be in the right elbow, so invite a little bit more engagement to feel that balance between both sides of your body. Walk your fingertips out a little bit further if you want a little bit more length out of that left shoulder. Continue to breathe. Deep, full breath. Nice. Bring that knee back in. Walk that left hand back. Couple of cat-cows here. Moving with your breath. All right, same thing, other side. So we'll start with that left leg back. And you can curl the toes under, just get comfortable with that extended leg back behind you. Maybe see it with feeling. Okay, walk the right hand forward to your degree. And then we'll take that hover. On the first side, I kept my hand connected to the earth just for a little bit more support. I might float it here just to kind of check in with that core. You're going to require more effort from your center when you hover, right? This helps with a little bit more of a supportive variation, which is I welcome by all means. Finding support in your practice is huge. It's how we grow. Deep breath. Don't collapse in the head either. You want that head to remain an extension of the spine. Keep breathing. And bring that knee back in. Hand places back to the mat. Cat-cows. You can even sit back into a child's pose if you'd like a little moment here. Take what you need from that. This practice in general, I'm hoping that you find that you can incorporate this into your daily practice, whether it is a rigorous vinyasa practice that you have a lot of energy and you want to move, or maybe it's that day that you need to remind yourself to slow down. So it's, if the breath tightens, then the effort is too high. So think about that. All right. So with that, let's come to a standing position. This will be our last movement of this class. So torso twists. Now, the wider apart that your feet are, the easier this will be. So we're going to torso twist, but I want you to kind of work your feet inward to challenge yourself and isolate. So let's start with a nice wide stance and get comfortable with it. So just torso twist. Your arms can rest comfortably by your sides. Okay, just rocking in both directions. Nice gentle bend into the knees so you're not locking out anywhere. Just moving slow. Again, taking your circles as big or as small as you need them to be here, okay? But not forcing movement. We're looking for that subtlety. I should have called this class that, right? The subtlety of core support without tension. I renamed it. How do you like that? All right. So now we're going to walk the feet a little closer together, okay? We're going to isolate that. So notice it's a little bit more challenging to get into that circular motion here, right? Maybe a gentle bend in the knees could help, right? What do you recruit from other areas of your body for support, for that subtlety? And then take it back. Other side. Your core responds automatically to ease, right? Like that's kind of what we have not ever been told. When we work our core, like I said, we have this, idea of sit-ups or, just really something very rigorous and hard to get that core nice and strengthened, which, hey, I'm all for, and I love a good solid core workout. But these slower mindful movements do the work too. Easier on our joints, make us more aware of our breath. So, all right. Just come to stand in your mountain pose. Take a full deep breath in and just notice how your body feels. And then I'll invite you to a seat to close our practice together today. And bringing your hands to rest in front of the heart. Just take a moment to send gratitude to yourself. Taking this time to connect to your body, your breath, your whole self. Your physical self, your emotional self, even your spiritual self. It is always an honor to lead you through practice. From my love of yoga to yours. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me.